In this video, I'm going to talk about everything that's wrong about magic, in my opinion, in Total War Warhammer, and some pragmatic solutions to fix it, because magic has become way too dominating. Magic and abilities has become way too dominating. The character sniping is real. People have started hiding their characters, essentially playing without the general. So a bit of background about how magic works in the Warhammer tabletop game. A single enemy character is exceptionally vulnerable on the battlefield, both against massed missile fire, against basically any unit that has rank and file troops, monsters, what have you. So the solution is to have the character in a unit of, let's say, a spearman. So let's say that you can attach your witch hunter or your general to a unit of spearmen. Now you could try to snipe the wizard. However, snipe the witch hunter, whichever character is in there. However, there would be a fairly large chance of one of these fellows taking the hit instead of the witch hunter. So, in essence, it would be almost impossible to reliably snipe enemy characters inside a regiment like this, which it should be with magic. So just that would increase the survivability of certain characters by quite a lot, and it makes more sense that a character, instead of running around here like a fucking superhero, that he's actually in a regiment, leading his men, giving a buff to that unit, so on and so forth. Now, if you have a general, a cavalry general, you obviously wouldn't be able to attach him to an infantry regiment. Maybe he would stick out like a sore thumb and would be easier to hit. You should, however, be able to attach him to a cavalry regiment and get the same benefits of protection in said regiment. You should be able to do this with wizards, with heroes, with generals, what have you. A flying hero should be able to be accompanied by a retinue of flyers, or just be on his own, where you can use mobility to try and kite. Now, one of the things about magic that is missing from Total War Warhammer compared to the tabletop game is the ability to dispel spells. So in Total War Warhammer, spells are cast automatically. A spell basically never fails. It can miscast if you overcharge. In the base Warhammer game, I've gone over this in other videos, but just a short recap. If I want to cast the, let's say, the fireball, the magical missile, I have to roll a set of dice, and I have a set of power dice that I can use. So let's say that I want to use 3 dice to cast this spell with a casting requirement of 5. So I get 1, I get 2, and I get 4. The spell is cast. That's for a total of 7. So if the enemy can try to dispel that spell by rolling dice. Now obviously we can't stop time every time a spell is cast here in Total War Warhammer. That wouldn't work, it would muck up gameplay even more. So there's also another thing that can stop spells, a dispel scroll. So let's say an enemy gets a really high roll and you want to stop that spell. It's a really important spell. You've bought for a dispel scroll and you dispel the enemy spell. Now there is a casting time here for the spells. It takes a certain amount of seconds for the spell to cast. So if I cast the magical missile here, let's see. You can see the wizard starts casting. It takes a few seconds until the spell is cast, and there the spell is cast. So, what I think the creative assembly should implement is the ability for a spellcaster to have two pools, one dispel pool and one mana pool. If this spell is cast with 5 mana, within the time frame it takes to cast the spell, you should get a notification the enemy is casting a spell. Then you can attempt to dispel that spell. You should also be able to buy dispel scrolls. So if you want to have an army that doesn't rely quite as much on magic, you can have a standard lord, and you can have that lord have a dispel scroll or two. So, for example, you can avoid the first 2 spirit leeches, or you can avoid the first 2 fate of Bunas, and then things become a lot more mind gamey, because then you can try to bait the spell scrolls by using magical missiles, and it opens up for another level of magic. In the way magic works now, spells are automatically cast. It's very easy to snipe characters, even characters hiding well behind several units. And in my opinion, it sort of destroys gameplay. You have a choice. You either tank up your lords, bring light wizards, you have the superior range, and then you kite, or you can just hide your lords. But it's kind of silly if I'm a general of the Empire and I come up against a magic heavy army and I put my general like way behind, hide the general somewhere where he can't be seen and where magic can't be cast at him. I save funds and then I go and engage the enemy just without the general anywhere near the battlefield. So adding the element of being able to dispel spells would balance, in my opinion, magic the way, in a way where magic doesn't just automatically works. Everyone is tired of seeing Spirit Leech sapping the health of lords. Everyone is tired of seeing Buna destroy units without any ability to defend yourself from that, because from most other things you can defend yourself against. But against magic in particular, against certain types of magic, there just isn't a defense. There isn't a defense for long range against long range light wizards. The only defense is hiding your own wizards. So I really, really hope that the Creative Assembly considers implementing these things. Although I don't have my hopes up, but currently the way magic works, it sort of ruins the multiplayer gameplay experience, because the magic has been dumbed down so much for Total Warhammer that there are a few viable, extremely powerful spells, and those are spammed until enemy lords and units are dead with absolutely no defense. And being able to attach lords and heroes to units, being able to have items that reduce the effect of magic on the battlefield, magical resistance to magic, banners with resistance to magic, the ability to dispel magic, dispel scrolls. CA, please, just give us that, and I think that will go a long way in making magic less of a nuisance and more fun in Total War Warhammer. Strength and honor.